Hello and welcome to Topical Top 10s here on the Football 365 show. I'm your host, Mark Smith, and I'm here with Deputy Editor of Football 365, Matt Stead. Hello, Matt. What is our top 10 for this week?
Hello, Mark. This week's top 10 is the greatest one-club legends in football outside of Tony Hibbert.
That's quite a long title you've gone for. Little spoiler though as well, no Tony Hibbert in this list. If you're looking for Tony Hibbert content, move on to somewhere else. We can't offer it here. Right, let's crack on with it. Number 10, we have got Billy Wright. Billy Wright, one for the kids. Why is he on the list, Matt?
Because football started before 1992, Mark. We've got to respect the legends who've paved the path before us. Billy Wright, he missed 31 games in the 1950s. He won 3 First Division titles for Wolves. And let's move on to number 9.
Yeah, can we? Number 9, we've got someone that people might actually recognise. It's Thomas Muller.
Yeah, Thomas Muller, obviously, he's one of a couple of current ones we've got on this list. He's very much a Bayern Munich stalwart, even a decade and a half, basically, after he made his debut for the club. But he's won every trophy imaginable for the club. He's probably going to stay there. I can imagine for the rest of his career, he could have moved to United at one point. He's had a few offers, but I think he'll stay there now.
Yeah, it would feel weird for him to be anywhere else, wouldn't it? He's the sort of player, I don't know why this is, but he's the sort of player that if you were to get an artist to draw a picture of a Bayern Munich player, someone who represents that club, for some reason, everything about him screams Bayern Munich. Just, I don't know what it is. He's just perfect for that club. The club's perfect for him. And that's why you've seen this perfect marriage throughout the entirety of his career. I hope he stays. Because if not, this list becomes defunct, more of which later. Number 8, we've got Barcelona centre-back Carlos Puyol.
Yes, he's on this list basically just for his beautiful hair, which he obviously stayed at Barcelona for a while and retired there, but yeah, it's mainly for the hair.
Yeah, I mean, even if it is just for the hair, that probably is still a better shout than Billy Wright. Puyol is someone who... he seemed to have 2 positions at Barca, didn't he? Because I remember him being a very solid right-back as well. But
it's not right, yeah.
Yeah, but he just seems to be integral to that Barcelona team that we still talk about now. I mean, he was probably just before that, but he feels like he was there for the foundations of that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was very much there under, I think it was Rijkaard when they won the 2006 Champions League. I think that was around the time that he kind of moved closer to the centre. Obviously, he had that partnership with Piqué as well, which it was around the time that Barcelona became pretty much the best club team we've ever seen. So, yeah, he's a good slot at number 8, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Number 7, Lev Yashin, another one for the kids.
Yeah, he's in. I mean, Puyol was in for just his hair, but Lev Yashin he's nicknamed the Black Spider, so that's why he's in there.
Okay, talk us through more about Lev Yashin, though, please, Matt. Please, Matt.
Do I absolutely have to, Mark?
No, you don't have to. Number 6, Tony Adams. Here we go. Tony Adams, everyone's favourite. Is he everyone's favourite Arsenal centre-back? He might be.
I think Felipe Senderos, but yeah, Tony Adams is decent. Number 2, isn't he?
Or Stepanovs, maybe.
Yeah, Pascal Sagan. We could talk about Tony Adams here, but we could just list off some.
Should we just do a top 10? Should we do a top 10 of Arsenal terrible centre-backs? No, Tony Adams, why is he in here? I mean, it's obviously why, but why do you think he's in here, Matt?
He's very rare in terms of a Premier League player who he was around very much before the Premier League. He's obviously won the title in the 80s, 90s and the 2000s. He's pretty much the player you think of when you think of Arsenal in that early 90s. He's had his struggles and stuff, but at his peak, he was an absolutely brilliant centre-half.
Yeah, I like Tony Adams a lot. He's also someone, he's sort of gone through both generations of football, that the old school drinking culture where you'd knock off training and go down the pub, and then to learn to readjust to a brand new way of thinking under Arsene Wenger. I think it shows a real quality of character to be able to do that. And it's sort of like when you get your dad to use an iPad for the first time. He's gone from being analog to digital, and it's the same with Tony Adams. And he's absolutely iconic. I mean, that goal was it Everton to wrap up the Premier League? I think that's one of the best moments in Premier League history. I think it's just beautiful. Him just celebrating in the sunshine. It couldn't have been written any better. Number 5, this is my favourite of the entire list. We've gone Francesco Totti of Roma.
Yeah, Totti, I think he's a bit more of a romantic one because it was similar to Batistuta. Obviously, he played at Fiorentina in Argentina, but for Totti, he could have. He had every excuse to leave Roma because obviously they never really dominated Italy. They won Serie A title, won a few Coppa Italias here and there. Sorry, but aside from that, they didn't win an awful lot. But Totti, throughout the years, he stayed pretty much there, consistent forward player. He had to reinvent himself a few times due to injury and due to kind of fitting into the team, but he was an absolutely phenomenal player.
Yeah, and he had his socks and shin pads low, which is there's always something about that I like. Very, very sort of mid-90s Italian. Well, I like Grealish, I think. He's got a similar vibe about him.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he'll be a one-club man. I doubt it, though. Number 4, Franco Baresi.
Yeah, Franco Baresi pretty much... I mean, if you spoke to any striker who was around when he was playing, he was pretty much the centre-half you didn't want to face. You'd very much leave with bruises on your feet due to a couple of late challenges here and there. He was very sneaky in terms of the way he defended, I think.
Oh yeah, studs on the big toe and all sorts.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, it clearly worked. He was part of that absolutely iconic AC Milan defence. He obviously starred for Italy at the 1990 World Cup, which didn't end too well, but he was absolutely, again, a brilliant player, which, funnily enough, is a theme for this one.
Yeah, as it should be. Number 3, we've gone for a Manchester United legend. It's not Paul Scholes. It's Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, we've ruled out Paul Scholes on account of him playing.
Sorry, no, we haven't. We haven't ruled out Paul Scholes. You've ruled out Paul Scholes for the following arbitrary reason. Go on, what is it?
Yeah, Mark made the decision to rule out Paul Scholes because he played for his son's, I think it was the Manchester Football League Premier Division team in 2018. And this is a one-club list, Mark, so that's just the way it goes.
So why Ryan Giggs then?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was quite good. He won a couple of trophies here and there at Manchester United.
The most decorated player in British football history, is that right?
I believe so, yeah. I think he's just ahead of Dalglish, isn't he? But yeah, in terms of Giggs, he's very much the absolute Manchester United legend. He's the player you think of, again, when you go back to the early 90s, throughout that decade, even throughout the 2000s. And then, obviously, when he retired, even going there as assistant manager and for those 4 legendary games as manager. I'm sure he'll come back one day.
Yeah, I'm sure he will as well. They seem to like an old boy, don't they, at United? Before we get into the top 2, I want to pick you up on something here, because a lot of the players on this list, as you mentioned with Totti, a lot of them were at successful clubs, and therefore it's easier to be loyal to a club if you're winning things and your expectations are matched by what you're winning with the club you're with. But Totti stayed. There's a player who's not on the list who I thought might have been in the top 2, and that's Matt Letizia, someone who could have made a bigger move, chose to stay at Southampton, which at the time were playing in a small stadium and a much smaller fan base than a lot of the clubs he could have gone to. Why is Letizia not on this list?
I'm going to tell you why, Mark, and it's because he played for Eastleigh, I believe it was 13 times after he left Southampton. And while Eastleigh are very much a semi-professional football team at the time, that's the way the list goes.
Brutal list. Oh, fair play. You know what? Fair play to you, mate. You have done your research. I doubted you there. Right, number 2, Paolo Maldini.
Yeah, Paolo Maldini. He's I think for a few of the younger audience, I think they'll probably associate more with Maldini than Baresi, but both very much Milan icons. Obviously, I believe they played together as part of that defence. Maldini, I think he was around for longer than we all thought. He kind of broke through in the 1980s, and I believe he retired in 2009. So he was there for.
He was there for the whole lot. He was there for everything.
Yeah, he was there for one of the best periods in Milan's history. I think he missed the boat a little bit with Italy. I think I don't think he was in the 2006 World Cup squad. I think he was injured. But yeah, in terms of the club level, again, which is another theme of this, he kind of won everything that there was to win at Milan, and I think he's still got the quickest Champions League final goal as well.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's in 2005 against another one-club legend in Jamie Carragher.
Again, not on the list. Why isn't he on the list?
I've got no explanation for Carragher. You can go number 11. All
right, fine. Good. Right, number 1 then. Number 1 for our top 10 one-club players. It's a choice that actually could be out of date by the time this goes out. Lionel Messi. Why have you picked Lionel Messi, given how likely it is that he might not actually be there next season?
Yeah, we're playing with fire here, aren't we? We're hoping.
Again, sorry, we are not. We are not. You are playing with fire.
Yeah, we're very much hoping that he doesn't join another club and play for them before Tuesday. But I think we've got a decent hope of that. But yeah, he's the best player ever in my eyes. So in terms of only ever playing for Barcelona, he's got to go in at number one, really.
Surely, did he not play like a little exhibition game for someone back home at some point that we can rule him out for? No.
No, he's not got a son he's played for 2 years ago either. So as far as I can see, because he left, and it was always going to be a case that he was going to leave Barcelona at some point. I think he said before he wanted to go back to Argentina and play for I think it was Newell's Old Boys.
Newell's Old Boys, yeah.
He was 13. So it was always so he was always destined to not be a one club man. But as it is of this day, then at the time of recording, he is a one club man and he's the best player in the world.
Very risky. And you know what? I mean, this might date even worse, but there's every chance he does stay with Barcelona and sees out his career there. So, you know what? Let's stick by it. Let's keep Messi at number one. I mean, who knows? Right, Matt, that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you very much for your odd top 10. You know, you put a lot of effort into it, and I appreciate that. For you guys watching, if you've got anything you want to get in touch with the show about, you can email us at theeditor@football365.com. Until next time, goodbye.